Alright, I'm so excited to be back. I missed the last 2 weeks again. Getting back into a regular schedule has been a struggle, let me tell you. It really has been hard to get back into a schedule. Don't know what else to say about that. But today we will be finally doing the back part of the dress form draping, the basic block. So I'm super excited for this exercise. You will of course need a dress form. You will need muslin, pins, pencil, pen, and some rulers, patterning rulers preferably. Yeah, let's get started on the back bodice drape. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to be using my T-square, scissors, of course a hip curve, and a gridded ruler for this exercise. And then you will also need a scrap piece of muslin, and my muslin measured 14 inches by 24. You're going to want to line up and make sure you draw a straight line about an inch away from the edge of the fabric. It doesn't matter if it's on the selvage or not. Then go ahead and press that straight line down. Now from the nape of your neck down to about the middle of your back shoulder blade, my measurement was 3.5. This is where you're going to be taking your shoulder blade measurement. From that 3.5 mark or whatever measurement you got, you're going to measure to your arm plate. Mine was 5.5, and you add a 1/4 inch for ease allowance, so mine was 5 3/8. Then you're going to measure down 3 inches from the top of your fabric so you have room to drape the shoulder. Then you're going to measure your nape to shoulder blade, and then you're going to draw a straight line out from that mark and use it to mark your measurement for your shoulder blade. Now you're going to want to pin that accordingly. So from your first mark, you're going to pin it to the nape of your neck, and then you're just going to pin it all the way down your dress form. Alright, so you are going to start draping the shoulder now. So you're just going to move it along the seam of your dress form with your fingers and just pin in place. Don't pull the fabric, just kind of smooth it out as you can see I'm doing here. Then you're going to want to pin where your shoulder blade mark is straight across. You're going to want it to be straight across. And then you're going to smooth out the fabric around the armhole and get that all pinned down around the shoulder. And then you continue on to the bottom part of your armhole and down the side of your dress form. Let's start the dart. So you're going to want to smooth out your fabric along to where the princess seam is, which is in the middle of the back panel and the side panel. Smooth it out, mark it out, and then you're going to want to pin those two marks together so you can start the dart. Once you have that pinned together, you're going to take your ruler and you're just going to mark about 7 inches. If your dress form is bigger than size 8, which on the market that's a size 4, then you're going to want to make a bigger dart, or if it's smaller, you're going to want to make a smaller dart. Then you're going to trim the excess fabric, and just like you see here, you're going to want to trim the middle of the panel so you release the fabric. It'll make it easier to work and make that dart. Then just start pinning all the way up on the fabric until you come to a point. Make sure you're pinning this along the princess seam as well. Now that you have it all pinned down, you're going to take your pencil and you're just going to mark all along where you put your pins on the side of your garment. You're just going to follow where the grooves are. Your dress form should have the grooves where the seams are, so you're just going to follow those. Make sure you do cross marks, so you're going to want your lines to pass where you're marking. As you can see here, it creates kind of an X. Once you get that done, you can take it out of your dress form, but leave the dart in, and then using those cross marks, you're going to use them as a guide to straighten out those edges. Now, it doesn't matter if it doesn't exactly line up where you marked on the dress form, that's perfectly okay. Once you get the straight sides done, we're going to start on the waist, same thing, and then you're going to use your hip curve or your variform curve to do this. Move the dart to one side and mark, move it to the other side and mark the same way. Once you get this done, you can take out the dart and we can start measuring and forming the dart. As you can see here, one of my legs is bigger than the other, so you're going to want to even that out right away and then mark where your dart is. Make sure they're the same width apart. Mine width what ended up being 2 inches. So I made sure they were the same, and then you can start by drawing in the middle up to your point that you drew, and then you can draw the legs of your dart. Now we're going to add some ease allowance, so it's a half down and a half out, and then blend it back into your waist. And then you're just going to put a fourth out from the middle of your hole, and then you're going to blend it back in. Sometimes you put a fourth in or a half inch in on the top as well, and then finish up by just easing in your neckline, and then if you want you can cut it out and then drape it over your dress form. And that is how you drape the back of your bodice block. Now remember, these are just bodice blocks. There's no seam allowance. These are just the basic measurements of your own body or of your dress form that you have on hand. However, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't seen the first one, draping the front of the bodice, please check it out. I'll put a link right up here for you to click on. And I will see you guys all very, very soon for my next video. I'm super excited. I got a lot of fun things planned. I'm so excited to be back in the game of doing things. The last 4 months have been absolutely insane, and I'm ready to be back. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give it a like, subscribe, and you'll get to see more of my content.